I'm Stephanie, and welcome to Books and Bubbly. This is the playlist where I drink something bubbly while talking about books that I get all bubbly about. And today I am going to be reviewing The Vacancy in Room 10 by Serafina Nova Glass. So I got this book as a part of my book drop subscription, and I have read her previous novel, On a Quiet Street, and I remember liking it, so I was pretty excited to get this. Plus, it was being posted everywhere on Bookstagram, so really excited to get it. Warning, there are going to be spoilers in this review, but let's go ahead and see what this book promised to be about. When Anna Hartley's husband, Henry, calls her with a terrible guilty confession, she can't believe what she hears. It has to be a bad joke. The mild, predictable artist she married would never hurt a fly, let alone commit murder. But her confusion turns to horror when police find his body washed up on the banks of the Rio Grande. Desperate for answers to the millions of questions his untimely death has raised, Anna checks into the Sycamores, the rundown motel turned apartment Henry rented as an art studio. As she absorbs every bit of gossip the eclectic mix of residents are willing to share about her husband and each other, she begins to piece together a picture of a very different man than the one she married, and the life he led behind her back. The more she learns, the less sense things seem to make. She finds herself wondering, did she ever really know Henry at all? But Henry's secrets aren't the only ones. As Anna's search for clues expands, Cass, the mysterious jaded hotel manager, or motel manager, seems more and more determined to keep Anna in the dark. And when threatening letters start appearing at her door, Anna has to decide what's more important, the truth or her own safety. So before I get into the full review, I have to get this out of the way. This title, catchy, but doesn't make sense. It's a good title. Room 10 is occupied by Cass. There is no vacancy. Cass is in that room. It just, I get going for a fun title, but it doesn't work. Like, make it the room that Henry was living in. I don't know. It's stupid, but it kind of bugged me, obviously. But let's go ahead and talk about the good things about this book. So, all in, I really liked this, title aside. The characters are complex, they're flawed, and they're super relatable. I was really curious to see how our main characters, Anna and Cass's stories, would eventually intersect outside of just being in the same place at the same time. I will say, I think I liked Cass a little bit more than Anna. Sorry, Anna, but you do make some dumb choices. But I understand where she is coming from. She is grieving, and I can cut her some slack, as I know she's going through a tough time. She's bound to make dumb decisions because she's not sleeping well, she's not taking care of herself, so it does make sense. And I do think that they both grow over the course of the story, and I really liked that you had a really good sense of who they are. They are characters that I was ready to root for. But again, watching Cass grow and evolve, I just thought it was so well done. She really starts to come into her own and owns who she is by the end of the book, and I love to see it. I was really rooting for her and wanted her to get her life back, but on her own terms, not her ex-boyfriend's. Some of Cass's more questionable choices come from sheer desperation and a need for control over a life that she feels that she's lost. Again, it's very easy to want to root for her because you know everything that she's gone through. I also really love the group of misfits at this apartment and how they kind of just become a family. It was so great. I could hear the pool ladies hooting and hollering and just living their lives. They're really proving that life is what you make it and how you choose to live your life instead of focusing on material things or things that you can't control. I really, really loved that all the women at the Sycamores are loyal, and some of them are ready to do whatever it takes to protect their friends. Girl power for the win. And then there's Frank, this little kid that Cass kind of takes under her wing, and he is super adorable, and I just wanted to reach into the book and give him a little hug, and I'll take him to McDonald's, Cass, it's okay. Other good things that I really liked, I think the setting is really well written, and it was super easy to picture. Glass has a way with writing descriptions that made me feel like I needed to take a dip in that heavily chlorinated pool or take a really long hot shower after spending time at these apartments, and she really brings the setting and the characters to life. Glass has a really great skill in allowing the reader to immerse themselves in the book, and I really appreciated that. It made it larger than life. I also think the suspenseful scenes were really well written. Like, there's a scene where Anna breaks into someone else's apartment, spoiler alert, and is almost caught snooping, and it was tense, y'all. Or when Cass is almost caught doing something, like, my heart was just racing. I could not put the book down. There are some mystery elements. Again, we already know that Henry is dead and had confessed to doing something, and it's a really good mystery. We're trying to figure out, okay, who did Henry kill? And more importantly, why would he kill someone? Who knows why Anna has now moved in and wants her to stop digging for answers? And then we add on more layers and subplots after Cass accidentally kills one of the residents named Eddie and drives out to the desert to bury him, but then gets notes from someone who knows what she did and basically is like, yo, you gotta move the body because that where you buried him is about to be dug up for like a new apartment or a mall or something. And they're like, dude, you're really bad at this. And it was kind of funny watching her get these notes because it's so crazy. Like, this person is trying to help her cover up this murder. Like, and then you start to wonder, is it the same person who's targeting Anna? Why are they telling her what to do? And just truly, what is going on at this apartment complex? I also love that there were enough red herrings to keep me guessing, and I think the twists worked really well here. I loved that the answers were there, and I will say I did put together one of the twists, but it was also like right before it was revealed, so that could have just been Glass doing that on purpose, so I'm not going to toot my own horn over that one too much. The only thing I didn't really love is our villain at the end, because he turns into your standard like mustache twirling villain who has time to monologue about why he's the bad guy and why he did what he did, and don't you just feel so sorry for this poor baby who had to do all these bad things? It's not like he wanted to, he was forced to. Come on. Basically, I got some secondhand embarrassment from like his little speech that he gives and his actions. I was kind of just begging for somebody to like reach over and just push him off a cliff by the end. So again, told you there's gonna be spoilers in this. Our reveal is that our big bad is Henry's former co-worker and neighbor, Callum, who was married to Lily, whom Henry was having an affair with and was in love with. Callum found out, and unfortunately Lily was already really sick, I think, late stages of cancer. Basically overdosed her and then pinned it on Henry and said that it was basically his fault. And Henry believes it, and that's why he calls his wife at the beginning, because his lover, Lily, is now dead. And that's the death that he's confessing to. But then, Callum, who has thus far acted like a semi-normal person, just becomes unhinged and a real drama llama. The ending was kind of my least favorite part. Like, it makes sense, it all adds up, but it was a little hilariously melodramatic and kind of unbelievable. Like, he turns into this criminal mastermind when he first came on the scene as kind of like a sad schlub and a hermit. Oh, and he was also involved in covering up Cass's murder of Eddie, but it wasn't him telling her he was onto her, it was Eddie's wife, Rosa, who simply wanted to help Cass stay out of police custody and get away with her crime because Eddie was an asshole who hurt her. So Cass, Anna, and Rosa figure out a way to frame Callum for Eddie's death in the end. At the end of the day, I'm still giving this 4 out of 5 stars. I was entertained, and there was really only one thing that bugged me about this. I guess there's 2 things, because again, this title. Great title. It's a fantastic title. Just doesn't make sense with the book. Even with the over-the-top ending and the antagonistic reveal, I was blowing off all my other responsibilities to keep reading and finish this in a timely manner. I found it to be what I consider a pretty original story, and it has a lot working for it. All that to say, I was hooked. I also enjoyed that this was a pretty quick read at just under 300 pages. So if you're looking for like a fun summertime thriller, but leaning more towards the suspense genre, and you want something to read by the pool, this is it. I would definitely recommend this. This should be a popcorn thriller type read, but it actually has a lot of depth and nuance to the characters and their backgrounds and the choices that they make. So if you have any recommendations for other thrillers that are like perfect for summer, please leave your recommendations in the comments below. Otherwise, thanks for watching Books and Bubbly.